This is a demo on how to render a solid cotton shirt. So I've transferred my drawing that I previously did on Bristol paper, and I'm going to render this with green colors, and this would be kind of the base of my shirt. So we're gonna kind of study how to approach this. So I would color it like shape by shape, almost like a coloring book. So it becomes very smooth when you're coloring it. Try to have like this round circular motion when you're coloring, because that kind of helps to blend a little bit better. So for larger surfaces, again, you want to go kind of in a row, because the edges will blend into each other and will create smoother surface. And it's always good to do it once more at least, to achieve that kind of smoother coverage. So I'm using my base color for the beginning, and I'm doing even tone when I'm covering this. So I will not wait until the whole thing dries to do the second tone, because that will help to smooth out all the unevenness in your coloring. So this is kind of smoothing out the surface. And it's not a shiny fabric at all, cotton poplin, so you don't want, you don't want a lot of highlights. We'll just add shadows to this. So I'm doing like kind of detail by detail in a way to have that coverage to be as smooth as possible. If it's small area, I'm going back immediately to, again, cover it up with a smoother layer. So here I'm finishing up the first layer. So then now you want to think about like where to add your shadows, and then when you have your reference photo, it helps. If you don't, again, like just looking at this photo, you can see, where the shadows are, so the light source and shadows. So having a reference photo right next to you will be extremely helpful. For just to make it easy to kind of see, I'm gonna add a little bit of a skin tone so you can see where the skin is, and that will help us a little bit in the process, but I'm trying to make it a little bit faster in this case. So we'll just do kind of a partial covering. So anytime you have coverage, things overlap, you will have shadows on the body. So anytime you have shirt pieces covering body, you'll have shadows. So for example, if you look at this photo, you'll see right here on the body, the shirt casts some shadow. And then now we're going into an actual shaping with you know, light and shadow for our shirt. So I'm gonna add the shadows with the same tone. I'm not getting a darker marker for this right now. I'm just utilizing the same tone, and I'm just going over one more time, and I'm mapping the shadows because this is a safer way versus just going with a super dark shadow immediately. So this helps to give some dimension and map out. If you do a little bit of a mistake, it's still going to be okay because it's same tone. It's not going to be that detrimental to the overall effect. So I'm adding and then now at the very dark points I want to add my darker marker. So wherever I have super dark areas, like where the bodies, you know, two parts of body meet, and for example here we have an overlap. So these are going to be, you know, deeper shadows of those areas. But what I want to do is I don't want to leave it like this. I want to blend it in so it doesn't look very harsh. And the way I blend it in, I go back with my original marker and I blend those into the base color. Unless it's a very thin area, like for example here, I don't go too far into the base color. I just kind of go like this and just do a little bit of the blending. And again, using that dark tone helps to have some depth and some color to blend it into the overall shirt without adding, you know, a lot more layers. That gives you some color to play with. So the shadows we're adding in the areas where you don't have body. So wherever you have the body, it's going to be less of a shadow, I mean, no shadow. It's gonna catch light. So for example, chest area, and you know, here we have the arm, but where the shirt falls around the arm, that's gonna be in a shadow. So that's a good area to add some darker marker and add some shadow. So I've blended in my dark color so it doesn't look very choppy and just linear, but it looks blended and soft. So now I'm gonna let it dry for a second, and I'm gonna go over to finish it with my pencil. I'm gonna finish the edges to have everything more neatly kind of come together. So I'm outlining the areas and I'm deepening shadows with my pencil where I want. And now I'm gonna add the buttonholes and buttons. I did the opposite. So I'm gonna a little bit blend it more because when the marker is drying up, I feel it's getting much lighter than what I wanted. So I'm gonna add a little bit more color. And at the same time, I didn't do the buttons in a correct placement, so I'm gonna fix this. Okay, so after drawing with the pencil, I'm gonna add top stitching with my gel pen. So pockets always have to have a top stitching, otherwise there is no way to attach them on a shirt. So you can have a button here as well. So this is the placket. Some more top stitching at the bottom of the shirt. And going over buttons with your gel pen. And I want to kind of just highlight a little bit the seams, not highlight, but in terms of light, but just pull out some of the seaming, and I'm gonna add some white gel pen because that helps to kind of brighten up overall look and make it look more polished. So right next to the black gel pen, you can add some white and it will pop the stitching a little bit more. So